Recorded live in the studios of Brewer Street Mafia. This is a Red Dog Fred production.
And now, your number one rated show, The Mike Weatherford Show. Here's your host, Mike Weatherford.
Hey, welcome back to the Mike Weatherford Show. I'm your host, Mike Weatherford. We got something tonight that's something that I don't know if I remember it or you remember it, but I got something to talk to you about. The date was Sunday, June the 26th, 1977. It was a hot 90 degrees, and most of the residents of the small town of Columbia, Tennessee, were taking part in church functions, spending the day with family, hanging out at the pool, or taking a pleasant afternoon nap. Little did anyone know that our town was mere moments from an epic disaster, a disaster that would leave its weighty mark on every member of the community for years to come. The worst jail fire in the history of Tennessee, both then and now, with 42 people lost their life in the Maury County Jail, Columbia, Tennessee, in 1977. Tonight I've got Miss Cindy Tinsley. She wrote a book about this, and this book is called Tragedy in a Small Town, the Maury County Jail Fire. It's a very interesting story that I don't know if you remember it. For some reason, I don't remember it, but it was a tragedy. Inmates and visitors themselves, both of them lost their life in a tragedy that I don't know why it slipped through and we haven't talked about it, but it was the biggest jail fire in the state of Tennessee then and now. That fire changed a lot of safety that goes on in our jails across the state and across the country after that one fire. My friend Ricky Price is the one that found this story for me. He was talking to me, Ricky, and you said, Mike, did you? And I couldn't remember it. Welcome, Ricky.
Mike, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show as always.
I just don't. 1977, I was roaming around getting out.
I was roaming around too.
I just didn't remember it.
And when I was talking to Cindy, I was in Chattanooga, and we just got to have an internal conversation. Yeah. She told me she wrote a book, and I said, about what? And then she told me about this book.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just floored me.
It did me too.
So
let's get this story started. It's a pretty interesting story, Rick.
The viewers and the listeners tonight, just hold on what she's got to tell you.
Oh, it's a good story. Appreciate you, Rick.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
So tonight on Zoom, we've got the author of the book, Tragedy in a Small Town, Cindy Tinsley. Welcome to the show, Cindy.
Thank you, Mike. I'm glad to be here.
And this story that happened in 1977, it was national news, was it not? Around the country, around the world. And it surprisingly, a lot of people don't remember that and or didn't even know about it. You and I talked just briefly before we went live. I don't know why. Maybe I remembered it and just forgot it, but it's something. Tell us a little bit about Cindy and why you wrote this book and all about that. Cindy, tell us a little bit about yourself before we start.
Glad to. I worked for 27 plus years in the financial services industry and decided to retire early. I had a good opportunity, and after I retired, I thought, well, I can't just sit here twiddling my thumbs. I need to do something. So I started writing books. And my first book was about debt collection.
Debt collection.
Then my second book.
Yeah, debt collection.
Yeah.
Debt collection, okay.
My second book was about weight loss. Anyway, as my story moved forward, I ended up joining the Columbia Breakfast Rotary Club. And they knew I had written a couple books, and they asked me to write a book about the history of the club while there were still people around to tell us about it. So I did that, and once I had it published, they asked me to donate a copy to the local archives. Well, our Maury County Archives was located in what was previously the jail,
the one
where
that
this
burned.
fire occurred.
Gotcha.
And I have to tell you, Mike, and I still, anytime I tell this story, I have the same feeling. When I walked in that door, I had chill bumps all over my body.
I
And
can
when
under,
I left, I could not stop thinking about that jail fire.
we have got the
And I went
picture
home.
of the archives up right now. That was the original building that used to be the jail. It's the archives now where this tragedy happened. That's the same building, correct?
Yes.
There it is. We got a picture of that up. That's amazing. So you started, once you got involved in it, you decided to really dig deep and write this book about that tragedy that happened in 1977.
And it's actually kind of funny. When I went home, I tried to distract myself from thinking about it, and I couldn't. And about an hour later, I told my husband, I'm going to have to write a book about that jail fire. And he said, well, do you know anything about it? And I said, no, I'm going to have to figure it out. So I started researching, and
How long
it
did it
was so,
take you to research this?
it was almost a year.
Really, just researching. So carry us back
Yes.
to the beginning of the fire, wherever you want to start at. Let's start at the beginning. It was just a typical June day in 1977, and I believe it was visitation day in the jail, and people was there
Yes.
seeing family and seeing people that was in jail, and I'll let you take it up from there.
Well, it's really interesting. There was only 1 hour of visitation each week. That was on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Those were the visiting hours. And there was a sign up in the lobby when you walked in the door that said the only thing you could take into the visitation area with you were cigarettes. E- Exactly. Everything else had to be put inside a locker.
Really?
So every visitor's identity, their possessions, their purses,
Oh
their
man,
billfolds, they were all in a locker, each individual locker. And it was a lengthy process that they went through for the visitation hour. So the people who were visiting would come in and they would say who they wanted to visit, and those inmates would be brought in to a special visitation area. So once the inmates were in and everything was ready, the visitors would be brought into a corridor that was 7 feet wide.
gotcha.
And they would have a window basically with bars, no glass, but an open window with bars where they could communicate with the
Gotcha.
prisoners. And in that same corridor, there was the padded cell.
Gotcha.
And inside that padded cell, there was a young man, a 16-year-old from Wisconsin, who had been picked up on I 65, our local interstate going through Maury County, hitchhiking. And the interesting thing about that, he had been picked up the night before, wee morning hours of the day before, because someone from Columbia had pulled over to pick him up.
Gotcha.
But after talking to him for a few minutes, they didn't want to let him in their car.
Okay. Was he kind of something little mental or crazy or?
Yes.
Okay.
The person said he was just a little off and he didn't feel comfortable letting him in his vehicle. So he drove on back to Columbia and he saw a police officer, a city police officer, and he pulled him over and said, look, there's this kid out hitchhiking on the interstate and there's something not right. So the city policeman contacted his dispatcher. That dispatcher contacted the county
Gotcha.
because that interstate was obviously outside city limits. So the county sent two deputies out and they picked him up. And him being a juvenile, they needed to keep him separated from the adult inmates. So they put him in the one juvenile cell that they had. And pretty shortly, he stuffed a blanket into the toilet and flooded the cell.
Okay. So
So they
he
had
was
to remove
troubled.
him from
So
the
so he
juvenile
was a
cell.
troubled youth. He was troubled. Go ahead. Yeah. He was troubled
Yes,
right off the bat.
yes. And the only place they had to put him was where he would be separate from the adults was a padded cell.
Okay.
So that's where they put him.
We don't have
And
padded
during
cells nowadays, do we?
No, I don't think we
That
do.
was a big deal back in when I was a child. You was threatened. They put you in a padded cell. We don't do. I had some. I talked to a couple of sheriffs that I wanted to come on tonight and talk about this for stuff like that. But they was both had prior commitments and couldn't make the show. But they don't have padded cells no more. Could that be a reason why this? Because as far I know, it changed a lot of stuff across the country. That could
it
be one.
did.
Yeah.
It changed the fire marshal rules
You're right.
around penal facilities.
Right.
They went from a page and a half to 16 and a half pages
Oh man.
of different rules. And that was all based upon this fire. Because if you think back at 1977, no one knew that mattresses contained hazardous chemicals.
Right.
They just didn't know that.
Well,
So there's
yeah.
this room that is like it's surrounded in mattress.
Right on the walls, the floors, ceiling, everywhere. It's a padded room.
Right.
Okay.
And this kid, he didn't know anyone in the jail. He wasn't from this area, but he wanted to get out. So he asked one of the visitors, "Hey, can you give me a cigarette?" And I don't know if you've ever been a smoker, but smokers do that.
Yeah. I
If,
smoke.
if
Yeah.
somebody asks you for a cigarette, you're going to share a
Yeah.
cigarette.
Yeah.
So the visitor out in that main corridor passed through his little food chute, one lit cigarette and one not lit.
No matches,
And
just cigarette.
right, just the cigarette.
Okay.
And somehow that young man was able to light that padding on fire.
Oh man.
Oh, really?
And most of that padding actually burned to the point that he started yelling out, "I'm on fire! I'm on fire!" So the visitors start telling the workers there, the county employees, "Hey, we got a fire back here." And they start yelling because they can see the smoke coming out from under the door. So action starts happening then. The jailer grabs the keys and he goes running and he's trying to unlock the door. And there's another county employee, a county deputy, the chief deputy actually, was with him. And they're trying to open the door. And there's so much suction inside that room. The guy had to actually put his foot up on the wall to brace himself to jerk that door open.
To break that
And
vacuum.
when he did, there was an explosion that came out of that room. It was a fireball that went down the hallway and smoke that you would not believe.
And it was that old
And the
toxic
two,
smoke too.
Yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it was
oh yeah,
that foam
actually,
rubber and all that padding stuff. Yeah, the cyanide and carbon
Oh,
dioxide.
Lord, cyanide.
Yeah, it was
That's
everything in that mattress. Go ahead with your story.
yep. And this young man from Wisconsin was the only victim who had any burns on his body.
Really?
But he had second and third degree burns over 25% of his body.
But he lived.
He lived. They drug him out into the parking lot. And then the one criminal investigator that we had in Maury County at the time was actually there. And the reason he was there is that the sheriff was out of town. He was at a convention. And the previous weekend, there had been a breakout at the jail. And the two of the people who had broken out
Right.
had been captured and were back in the facility. So there was concern and rumors about they were going to do it again.
Right. So everybody thought with all that commotion it was a breakout. Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
And this criminal investigator grabbed the keys from the jailer because the jailer was a war veteran
Right.
and he had one bad leg. And the criminal investigator knew that that jailer was not going to be able to get around and open jail cells.
Gotcha.
So he grabbed the keys and he dropped to the floor because of the smoke. And he yelled for everyone, all the visitors, get out. So they start running, and he's down on the floor, and someone kicks the keys out of his hand.
Holy crap. The
And
keys
that
to the
was
cells.
one of
Yeah,
the things-
The keys to all them jail cells where those prisoners was in. Kicked out of
Yes.
his hand. So there you go.
out of his hand.
Let me put this in.
And
He's on his knees, smoke everywhere you can't see, and the key got kicked out of his hand. Holy crap. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's multiple keys. I
Yes.
mean, they're on one key ring, but
Right.
it's multiple keys. So even if they had the keys in the dark smoke, it would have been really hard for them to match up key numbers
For
with
key locks.
doors.
Holy
Right.
crap. And I'm sure the prisoners were screaming and hollering. Did the visitors get out, Cindy? Did it had the visitors all made it out?
No.
Oh.
And this is another part of the story. 9 of the visitors did not make it out,
How many?
and they were found in various different areas. Only one of those visitors was locked in. And let me say too,
Cindy, did you say 9
prison-
visitors died in that? 9
Yes.
visitors died, and only one of them was in a locked-in room. So that kind of sets the stage of how hard it was to see, how tough it was if they wasn't locked in and they couldn't get out. I mean, and they wasn't locked behind doors and they couldn't find their way out of the building. That tells you how bad the smoke was. It was horrible.
and one person who passed was a trustee. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but if you have a prisoner that's a trustee,
Yes.
he is a trusted individual. He can go and come as he pleases.
So he knew the
And
place.
there was one trustee out in that visitation area. He didn't make it out, even though he knew the jail well.
So
He
the
was found a few feet.
So it
from
wasn't the flame as bad as it was the smoke and that deadly cyanide and all that whatever chemicals there is known to man. It's in that padded cell in that mattress, and I'm sure the smoke's so thick you couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
Oh, you couldn't. And that's another interesting thing about this. The fire station was literally 1 block down the road.
Man,
They got there within 90 seconds of the call being placed. And even those firefighters had to crawl in on their hands and knees
holy crap!
because the smoke was so thick.
Was there much of a
And
blaze, or was it just a smoldering?
The blade, they were able to get up on the roof and knock a hole in the roof over that padded cell and pretty quickly douse the fire.
But the damage had been done with that smoke.
It only takes a couple of minutes for someone to die from that kind of toxic poisoning.
Yes.
And that's another kind of interesting factor to this. This fire broke out at 1:55 p.m. Again, visitation was from 1 to 2.
Just
So
about
5
over.
minutes before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bad
Before
luck. I don't know
visitation
if
is
bad
over.
luck is the word to use, but that was a bad timing.
Had no luck at all right there.
Horrible. So
Exactly.
we got the fire extinguished. What are these prisoners doing? They're trapped in, cannot get out. They're like shooting ducks in a barrel, fish in a barrel. They're just are they trying to any way to survive, or some of them trying to stick their head out the windows, or what is there any of that going on, Cindy? I mean, what are they doing?
There are people. There are a number of people. A number of the prisoners tell them, wrap wet towels around your head.
Yeah.
And then some were leaning over toilets with a towel over their head. And some of those survived. And, one really interesting thing to me about this entire thing, there was one prisoner in that jail who could have potentially had the death penalty. And he and his father both perished.
Oh. Well,
But everyone else had relatively minor kind of. There was one prisoner, Mike, that all he had done is been caught the day before driving without having his prescription glasses on.
really?
Yeah.
Why was he
Yes.
not bonded out? Was he trying to prove a point, or?
Yes.
Well, I can't say that he was trying to prove a point, but maybe so because he could have paid a small fine
Yeah,
and went home.
but he lost his life.
He sure did.
So this is just hard to. But you got to remember, we're looking at 1977. We're not looking at 2025. Things was different. That would be hard to imagine. People that's listening to us today could say, how could that happen? Well, times was different in 77. I mean, we didn't have sprinkler systems. There's no sprinkler system in there, no ventilation
Right.
system. And the guy dropped the keys. That's horrible. Is that gentleman had to suffer the rest of his life knowing that he dropped the keys? That had to be hard on him. It would be me. I got
And
him
it
kicked out
was.
of his
And
hand. Yeah.
him being the only criminal investigator, so any prisoner that was inside the jail for something other than a traffic violation was put there by him.
Yeah.
And
Nobody.
that was a question that had been asked ever since the fire occurred. No one knew what happened to the keys.
Did
Well,
they
I
ever,
was able to solve that mystery.
did they ever find them?
They did find them, and they were inside the area.
The what?
First walk into the lobby, there was a county employee there in a glassed-in kind of office,
Right.
and the keys were found inside that office. And I actually interviewed him, and then I interviewed 11 different people before I wrote the book. And of course, he was one. And then as I got into more questions about what happened to the keys,
Yeah.
and I interviewed a fireman, and he said, well, we found them here. So I contacted that gentleman back and I said, is it possible that those keys could have slid under the door? If someone kicked them out in the hallway, could they have slid under the door? And he said, well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you that door was standing wide open when all this occurred because he had run out into the
Yeah.
hallway trying to help.
Was there some
So the
missing?
door,
Was there some missing keys?
well, there was a separate set of keys,
Right.
but they were hung up on the sheriff's office wall. And the sheriff's door was locked because he was out of town.
Got you.
So those keys were not accessible.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors, falsehoods, and conspiracy theory. There's conspiracy theories for everything. I mean, it don't matter, Cindy. There's going to be conspiracy theories, but the keys was found kicked down. I'm not saying anything's wrong, but that's how nobody did anything wrong. But they never would have found them keys during that.
Well,
during
they
that.
did. They did eventually find
Yeah,
them
but I'm talking
because-
about during that while they was trying to get everybody out. They was that far away. That was a pretty good ways from where he dropped them, correct? But I figure people
Right.
running back and forth down that hallway, they probably just got kicked like a putt. Went on down the hallway. Was that kind of what happened? Just kept getting kicked, and so they tried every way in the world to get these prisoners and visitors out of that jail cell. Well, the prisoners was not locked in. I mean, the visitors wasn't, but the prisoners was. They took wreckers and go into that detail about what all they did to try. They was busting with sledgehammers. They had wreckers there trying to pour. Tell us all about that.
That was one of the really interesting aspects of this because the people that poured out were there not because they were getting paid. They were there trying to help.
Yes.
And one of the record drivers was Junior Gray from
Right.
Gray's Record Service. I knew him well. And he actually ended up years later dying of brain cancer.
Oh Lord.
And that was from the toxins, I fully believe.
Really?
Well, sure.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
so many people who were involved in that ended up with some form of cancer.
Well, yeah, cyanide. But they hook records to them bars and try to jerk them down, and just to be possible.
Yeah. And they had sledgehammers where they were just knocking holes in the walls. And another thing that was really surprising to me, even the firefighters with all their equipment,
Yeah.
with the gas mask and everything that they had, 6 of them ended up having to be hospitalized for smoke inhalation.
Man, but there's some toxic smoke. But we're 1977 technology. We didn't have what we have today. But man, so bad luck is the only word I can think of. I mean,
That's no luck at all.
no,
No.
these people get only one person that could have possibly been in big trouble. The rest of them were just misdemeanor bad checks, probably public drunk, driving without your prescription glasses, just small misdemeanor things, nothing that they should have lost their life over, nothing.
Yes.
Within 5 minutes. Think about it.
Yeah.
1:55 to 2 o'clock.
Yeah, but with the 5 minutes, they'd have been out of there. Go back to that boy that lit this fire. He was 16 years old. He asked for a cigarette. They gave him a lit cigarette and one that wasn't lit, and he lit that place on fire. He got out alive.
He did.
And still
And like I
alive.
said, he had second and third degree burns over 25% of his body. So he still carries the mark today.
But he's still alive today.
Yes.
Is he? Did you speak with him when you wrote the book about anything?
I did not speak to him. I tried to kind of research and see what I could find out. And basically, what I found out was he hadn't been in any real trouble since.
Right.
I guess he kind of learned a lesson from what he went through. But he was tried for
42 counts of
it
murder,
is about-
probably.
well, yes, and arson.
Yeah.
And it took about 18 months for all that to go through. And basically, at the end of the game, he finally pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter. The reason being, voluntary manslaughter kind of carries with it an intention to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't intend to kill anyone. He just wanted out of that cell.
That and he wanted attention. So
Yes.
the guy's still alive. He lives back in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Wow.
After 18 months, after his trial was completed, and oh, by the way, during that time period when he was back in the Maury County Jail, at one point, the other inmates beat him up,
Well, I would hope
and he ended up back in the hospital.
after the fire and all. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Jesus. So I don't even know where to go. I'm sitting there trying to imagine that, Ricky. That is, people. You're in your house and and your house catches a fire and you can't get out and they die of smoke inhalation. But these people was conscious of what was going on around them, those poor inmates. They knew they was in a cage and couldn't get out. The only thing could be worse would be to take a cage with people and drop them in a river, where they can't get out. So, Ricky, that is horrible. I don't even know what to say. It gives me cold chills. So when these people, how many people total was injured, Cindy?
Well, there were quite a few injured, but there were 96 inside the building
Right.
when this fire broke out. So to think that only 42 died is actually pretty phenomenal. And
It is, but it
one of
sounds
the
like
things-
too many to me. I mean, that's a double-edged sword. You would think But out of that 42, how many of them was inmates, Cindy?
33.
33 of them, and they was all locked in. And the other one was just the visitors. How did the visitors could not get out? They couldn't see to get out, is what we're saying, Cindy. I mean, that's the problem. They just couldn't. It happened so fast, and when they opened that door, that bomb went off, and that smoke and everything else went on. The other visitors just couldn't see to get out. Is that basically what happened?
Right. And they couldn't, if you put yourself in a pitch black environment,
Yes.
you lose all orientation.
Sure you do.
And even people who knew the facility well said that them trying to crawl out, that they were having to hold on to the wall, to touch the wall, and to use things like a water fountain.
Yeah.
They found the water fountain so they could orient themselves towards the door.
I've got a little monitor here in front of me that Dana, she monitors all the live feeds we're on. We're on a bunch of different feeds, and somebody named Janet said it was national news. She was working in the ER that night and spoke personally with NBC News in New York. So if it went to New York, it went worldwide, and it changed. That's what I tried to get another a sheriff here. That far, it's changed a lot of safety in these jails. One hand you can say, well, they're prisoners, they shouldn't have broke the law. Yeah, but they didn't get death penalties by not driving with their glasses on, or public drunk, or shooting a gun, or whatever. Them small most of it was probably misdemeanor charges, I would assume, but predominantly they didn't deserve death. But how could they have prevented it? Maybe not give that guy a cigarette, but it even went further. Now we don't have padded cells. It's all changed so much, Ricky, but I can only imagine these poor souls. I hope when you died of smoke inhalation, they wasn't like they was asleep. They was all awake.
They was wide awake.
Yeah, I hope they just went to sleep. Is that basically what happened when that smoke got them?
Yes. They just passed out, went to sleep. There was no pain involved, which is a blessing.
It's horrible.
It's interesting, too. That jail, that building, was 14 years old.
Fairly new.
That's a new building.
It was considered fireproof because it was concrete block and steel.
Well, the building was. It was that damn mattress.
That padded cell.
Horrible. I mean, but padded cells, we'd all heard of them, Cindy. You grew up in Tennessee. I'm sure your parents, as a child, threatened you with a padded cell. We've all heard that. But they don't. And I had talked to our sheriff, Josh Fry, here. He wanted to come on too, and he said we don't have padded cells no more. He didn't know if that was the reason why, but they just don't have padded cells, and that's probably one of the reasons, because it's too much to burn there. Man, I gotta take a commercial break. We get back, I want to finish up his story with you. See, don't you go nowhere, but that is horrible, Ricky.
It's worse than horrible.
It is. I mean,
when she told me the story, and I was like, what?
If any of my viewers out there that's watching this, did you know about it? Had you heard about it, or did you happen to know anybody that might have been that had family, or maybe know somebody personally in that jail? It's sad that the part that gives me cold chill is being locked into a cage.
Claustrophobic.
And that smoke coming.
That's correct.
And nobody can get to you. You cannot get out, and it's got to be horrible.
It's a terrible way to die.
It's horrible.
It's claustrophobic. You know what I'm saying? So
God Almighty. I mean, our electrician go out at my house, and we keep a light on in the kitchen, because you get up in the middle of the night or something. But the lights go out at my house. Hell, it's smothering dark.
I get it.
You wake up, you can't see.
Feet on a wall. Make sure stump your toe or whatever.
You're like you can't breathe.
Yeah, that's it.
I can imagine.
That's it.
Oh man, all right, folks, we're gonna take a commercial break. Before we do, Ricky Price has got a great, good giveaway this week. Can you believe Venture River? Hey, it's summertime. Summer is here. Venture River is opening back up. Tell me when, this weekend?
Open this weekend.
Open this weekend. Friday. We got a pair of tickets, one adult and/or child, to Venture Rivers. Show that up there, Kevin, what we got. There you go. one adult or a child admission. I got a pair of them I'm going to give away. All you got to do is call, be the third caller, and you can go to Venture River Water Park and have a great time. Hey, call that number right there, be the third caller, and win you a pair of tickets to Venture River, courtesy of my friend Ricky Price at Pepsi Mid-America. We're going to take a commercial break. We got to pay the bills. We'll be right back.
Charter Senior Living, located at 350 Volunteer Drive, is a premier community for seniors interested in pursuing life, energy, and purpose. We have restaurant-style dining, life enrichment programs, social activities, local scheduled transportation, and a beauty salon. We show respect to our veterans with a wall of honor. Our mission at Charter Senior Living is to enhance the human spirit. For more information about Charter Senior Living, call us at 731-644-9680.
Is your tank on empty? Come to 54 Fuel Mart, located at 1213 A Westwood Street, for the best prices on gas. What about your other tank? You know, the one that is growling? 54 Fuel Mart has you covered for that as well. Check out our fried chicken, wings, pizza, and many other items to satisfy your hunger. On Tuesdays and Fridays, you really need to check out the fried fish. We also have a selection of freeze-dried candies, along with an entire aisle of candy bars and other sweets. Is it raining, or do you just not want to get out of the car? We have a drive-up window for your convenience. We also have dyed diesel for use in your tractors and other farm equipment. We have parking for big rigs, and our business hours are 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Feeling lucky? Well, do you? We have scratch-offs, and you can try your hand and the TN Lottery while you're here. 54 Fuel Mart, located at the Westwood Y, Paris.
Chad Cox, PLLC, provides representation in the areas of criminal law, family law, personal injury, wills and probate law. Chad Cox serves Paris and the surrounding area. He does not believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to representing his clients. He reviews every detail of your case to ensure that you receive an assessment that is specific to the unique circumstances in your case. Chad Cox is located at 104 North Brewer Street, Paris, Tennessee. Contact us at 731-642-4446.
Is this a normal sight around your house in the winter? Then when the hot summer sun comes around, is this something you see quite regularly too? If so, AccuAir is your answer. AccuAir serves all surrounding counties with top-notch HVAC techs to get you in the comfort that you deserve. Call Nathan or one of the highly skilled techs from AccuAir. AccuAir also offers BPU-approved financing for all your HVAC replacements. AccuAir is your #1 choice for all your heating and cooling.
The Downtown Event Center is available for parties, meetings, or family get-togethers. The center comes with spacious seating and an area that will help make serving food easier. If you are having a birthday party, this is definitely the place for you. The Downtown Event Center is located at 107 South Brewer Street. Contact Jessica at 731-642-4992 to make your reservation.
Hey everyone, this is Jeremy Buckaloo reminding you to tune in to Sportscast with Jeremy Buckaloo live every Sunday night at 7:30 here from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios.
Hey folks, don't forget next week, have you had sticker shock? With a new tax evaluation just come out, everybody got their envelope, their letter with all that in it. What's it really mean? Coming up next week, that's right, Tuesday, May the 27th, I have got Scott Morrison, Henry County Property Assessor, and David Bubba Flyers, County Commissioner, to break down the numbers, explain the recent property reevaluation, and address the big question: will the county adjust the tax rate to compensate for the rise in variations? It's a conversation every property owner needs to hear, and you won't want to miss this show. We're going to find out what's going on, what it means for your property tax, and what's going on at the county when it comes to that. When it goes from the property assessor, when the state done the reevaluation, they give it to Scott. Scott gives it to the county commissioners. What are they going to do with it? Tune in next week for all the facts, figures, and little common sense about what's going on with this new property tax evaluation we all just got sticker shock from. So tune in. It's coming up Tuesday, May the 27th, 7 p.m. right here live on the Mike Weatherford Show. Don't miss it. Don't forget my other show. John Rose is going to be on the Tennessee Informer. Dave is going to talk about the first GOP to run for governor, why he's running, and what's at stake. So John Rose is going to be on the show talking about what he's got in plan when he runs for governor. I think it's coming up next year. So, he's the first one to throw in the hat, the first Republican to throw his hat in the ring and say, hey, I'm running for governor. So going to be a special guest. John Rose going to be on the Tennessee Informer. Find out what he's all about, what plans he's got, what he's going to do, how he's going to do it. You don't want to miss his show. It'll be live on Facebook and live on YouTube. Wednesday, May the 21st, 7 p.m. Don't miss it. Don't forget my friend Jeremy Bucklew, Sportscast Live with Jeremy Bucklew. He's got a one-on-one with Caden Marshall. That's going to be a pretty good show. An interview with Caden Marshall, former Henry County Patriot football player, now a linebacker for Bowling Green State University. Hey, find out what's going on with this young gentleman right here when he's live Sunday, May the 25th on Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklew. That's going to be a great show. Tune in. Right there. Find him. Follow him. He's got some great guests coming on. Keeps you up to date on all the sports going on around our community, our area, our state, and guess what? Our nation. Don't forget, Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklew, live every Sunday, 7:30. You don't want to miss it. Junior Stags and Friends, they've moved. They got a new show coming up. It's going to be Thursday, June the 5th, downtown Puryear under the Pavilion. Hey, you don't want to miss it. It's free admission. Just bring you a cheer. Junior's going to have special guests John Langford and Jason Ray. You don't want to miss this, guys. The boys are back in town, Puryear, Tennessee, downtown. It's free. Thursday, June the 5th, 7 p.m. It will be moved into the convention center if it's raining, so don't worry. Don't let the bad weather scare you. It's episode 3, Junior Stags and Friends Live. Don't miss this show. It's going to be free. Downtown Puryear, under Pavilion down there, where we had the tug award this weekend. Go down there Thursday, June the 5th. Hang out with your family, your friends. Bring you a cheer and enjoy some good music with Junior Stags and his friend John Langford and Jason Ray. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be right downtown Puryear, Tennessee. So don't say there ain't nothing to do around here. And you can say hi to Kevin, my producer back here, old Chester. He'll be out there too. So don't forget he'll be there. Hey, don't forget the Mike Weatherford Show. We're simulcast live on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. We're everywhere. Hey, go to www.myparistv.com to find out more about all the shows that's going on at Kill Media and the Brewer Street Mafia. You'll thank me later. myparistv.com. All right, folks, I think we've got us a winner. I would bet you we do, because who wouldn't want to go to Venture River Water Park, hang out, get wet, and cool off? Have I got the winner on the line?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Who have I got?
Jordan Holland.
Well, hey, Jordan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful, man. What do you think about this show? Is it not horrible to be locked up in jail and die like that? Is that not horrible?
Yes, sir. That's a terrible.
God, man, I don't know what to say. She's doing an excellent job of explaining it. She's got me thinking, I want to act right. I don't want to be locked up in jail. But can you imagine being in that jail cell, can't get out, and all that going on around you? Jordan, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It really is, to sit there and, just be able to smell that smoke and know that there's nowhere to go. You're not getting out.
You're not going nowhere. What do you think about winning these tickets, buddy? What do you think? Is that not cool or what?
Yes, sir. I'm excited.
That's
I know
great.
my kids will be.
Oh, God, yeah. You got your pair of tickets to Venture River, courtesy of my friend sitting right here, Ricky Price from Pepsi Mid-America. He takes care of us, don't he?
Yes, sir. He takes care of the community really good.
He does.
We appreciate Ricky.
We do.
Yeah,
Everybody loves
I
Ricky.
appreciate
He's one of the good guys. Ricky is right there.
Well, I
He's
appreciate
been with
that.
Pepsi for I think 109 years now. I think it's 110 or something.
12, 25. Like an auction.
I believe
Junior
it.
Stags, he can auction it for
Yeah,
me.
he's been there forever, and you know what? He does so much for this community. Everybody loves Ricky, and he's part of the Mike Weatherford Show. And he's always got good stuff for us to give away, and we all appreciate what Ricky does.
Yes, sir. We sure do.
Jordan, I appreciate you. Congratulations, brother. Hey, they'll tell you on the phone how you can pick up your tickets. Ask you one question, Jordan. What's your favorite talk show?
The Mike Weatherford Show.
There you go. Appreciate it, Jordan. We'll talk to you soon,
Yes, sir.
brother.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
You know what?
What's that?
You know, when I was talking to Cindy and she sent me a copy of this book, first caller, I will give somebody a copy of Cindy's book.
Oh, man, look at there.
Look.
The first caller right here. Put that right there. This is that book. Who wouldn't want to read what we're talking about? Tragedy in a Small Town by C.R. Tinsley. We're going to put up a place. The first caller. We're also going to put up where you can buy this book. We're just skimming the surface. This book, I don't know how many pages it is. It's a lot of pages, 150, 60, 70 pages, full of pictures. Explains you everything that went on that day. This is one of the well-written books. It tells a true story. It tells the truth. And I'm telling you, if you want this, be the first caller. Another courtesy of my friend Ricky Price
Well,
at
Miss
Pepsi Medical.
Miss Cindy, when I met Miss Cindy, oh, we got a winner?
Already. It don't take long.
Oh, that was quick.
Oh, it was quick.
That was quick. Cindy, you become a regular, somebody from Paris, Tennessee now.
Yeah, you're becoming famous. But it's a story that we got a winner. Kevin, have you got that place to put up where people can go buy this book? Because I do, folks. I want you to buy this book. If you don't read, I don't care. Buy this book. Right here is where you can get it at. Write that down. Amazon.com. Tragedy in a Small Town. One lady done said she ordered her book. I want you to
all right,
buy this book, read this book, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to be like I am. When it makes Mike not have nothing to say, it's telling you. Your how she tells a story makes you think you're there. This story is well written. It gets into details. It's an excellent book, and I'm telling you, take it from Mike. Buy this book, read this book. It happened right here in our home, in our backyard. Columbia, Tennessee is not that far, man.
Hour and a half
away. Read this book, and you'll be glad you did. Have we got a winner on the line with the book already? Hello, have we got you on the line?
You got me, Rick.
Hey, who have I got here?
Hey, it's Bobby Dunn.
Hey, Bobby. What do you think, man? That's a pretty interesting show tonight, isn't it?
It is. That's an interesting story and everything. And the reason I'm calling was my wife says, I want that book.
Well, you know, it's an interesting book. I'm going to tell you, she did an excellent job. She does a good job of telling this story tonight. But it's a well-written book. And a lot of people, they don't like to read. Well, read this book because it's in Tennessee. It's kind of in our backyard because we're in this old world together. All of us are. And Mr. Dunn, I think you'll really enjoy this book. I think after your wife gets it, you better read it because I've read it.
Well,
I didn't read all of it. I'm going to be honest with y'all because I wanted to, when you're the host of a show, if you know all the answers, you might not ask the questions. Does that make sense?
It does.
I skimmed through it and I said, oh, this is going to be an excellent show. Hey, but I appreciate you. That's another courtesy of my friend Ricky Price.
Well, Miss Cindy actually took care of us. And folks out there, buy this book and read it, and you won't be disappointed because your grandchildren and kids or the future, they will have this book.
That's
right
good.
Here. That's
Bobby, that's right. Ricky, I appreciate it. Bobby, they'll tell you in the back how I can get you this copy of this book, and I want to appreciate you for tuning in. And what's your favorite talk show?
Mike, we love you guys. We listen to you guys, and you have some interesting stories, man.
We try our best. You know, we want to be your go-to place for all the things we all want to know about. That's all it is. I'm not into it for the money. I just think it's interesting that we can do these kind of shows. And did you know about this jail fire, or did you just learn about it when you seen I was going to do the show, or had you heard about it?
No, I had heard about it and everything. I was born in 1961, but I did hear about it and kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
So it's good that you guys are bringing this back up.
Oh, it is. I mean, Bobby, I want to think I'd heard about it like you forgot about it, but it just racked my brain that I didn't know this existed. You know, and I thought I have got to do a show on this because it changed a lot of the way the jails are done, the way the fire codes are written. Like I said earlier, Bobby, people in there for misdemeanor stuff. Hell, it could have been me and you for something, especially that guy that was driving without his eyeglasses on. That was a little rebellion. I don't care. He's got a little Weatherford in him. He was just pissed off and said, I'll show you. I'll just lay in jail. We've all said that, Bobby. You know what I'm saying? Just put me in jail. Nobody deserved.
Yeah, I started from a 16-year-old, man.
Yeah, let that sell. That's horrible. Well, Bobby, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it. I got to get back to the show, and they'll tell you in the back how to get a hold of how to get your book, and I appreciate you tuning in, brother.
Thank you, Mike. Keep up the good work.
All right, man. Appreciate it. All right, folks, there we go. We give away our wins for the night. Now, let's get back to the show. Cindy, are you still here with us? Hello, Cindy. You back with us?
Yes.
All right. There you go. I'm being honest. I don't promote much for people because, a lot of people might take what I say and believe me, and I don't want to steer nobody wrong, but this is a well-written book, and I don't recommend much stuff, but I'm going to recommend people to go to Amazon, buy this book, read this book, and you will not be sorry you done it, Ricky. It's an excellent book.
I agree. I totally agree.
So, Cindy, we're back to the jail fire. There's the old jail right there, the one that has become the archives building now. There it is. There's a picture of it. This kid that lit the fire, he got burnt. He asked for a cigarette. They gave him a lit cigarette and one that wasn't lit. Did the person that gave him the cigarette, did they perish or did they live, Cindy?
They lived. It was a visitor, and he got out.
Great.
And I chose not to reveal his identity in the book.
Sure.
Because he was just he was doing what smokers do.
He's doing what people do.
Yes.
The world is full of more good than it is bad, because if it wasn't, the good Lord would already stop this world. Remember that. Yes. I know we live in some hard times right now, but the good outweighs the bad, because if it didn't, the good Lord would already stopped it all. That guy just did what country folks do still to this day. If you're a smoker, like you said, if somebody asks for a cigarette, you reach in your pocket, you give them one. That's just how it is. And I understand, and I apologize for not giving his name, because that man's had to suffer for his entire life. Is he still alive? The man that gives the cigarettes, is he still alive?
I do not know. I did not look that up.
But I'll tell you, he's suffered since 1977. He'd be like me and you and everybody else. He blamed himself, I guarantee you.
Yes.
But he just did what we do in the South. That's just, don't blame us, join us. That's just how we are. We just do that.
Come as we are. That's
just kind of how we are. But anyway, it all started over a cigarette. Lit this padded cell, got the whole place full of them cyanide and all that poison. Smoke got so bad they couldn't see their hand in front of their face. The keys got dropped. They found them down the hall in another room, got kicked in there, and 42 people lost their lives. That's where we're at. Carried on from there, Cindy. Got to be some more interesting details.
Well, it obviously there's a lot of interesting details around this. It was the worst jail fire in the state ever, second worst in our nation.
Man.
And it was amazing to me how many people just came out of the woodwork to help.
Yes.
And our hospital, the Maury County Hospital at the time, had just built 20 days before this occurred. They had built a huge emergency room. Prior to this event, their emergency room only had 4 beds.
Oh man.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
the
lot of
fact that
coincidences here.
they had
God.
expanded it like 10 times. And it's just amazing the different things. Ambulances came in from around surrounding counties trying to help transport. Funeral homes sent their hearses
Yeah, I
Yes.
saw that in the
to
pictures.
transport
Yeah.
victims to the hospital.
How
And,
long did it?
back then,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, back then there was no such thing as life flight.
No.
No, somebody contacted out at Clarksville, the military base, and they sent 4 helicopters to transport victims to hospitals in Nashville.
Now, after the fire got started, Cindy, how long was it before they started getting people out? How long, when they couldn't find the keys? How long did all this take place? Was it a quick deal, or was it forever before they ever got into these people and started? Because some of them survived. Some of the people in them cells survived. Correct?
Yes.
How long?
And many of the visitors survived.
Yes, right. So how long did
This
it?
is another.
Go ahead.
This is another aspect to this. There were so many rumors and falsehoods that were told.
It always is.
There were 2 doors beside where the main entryway was into that visitation area. And the story was that both those doors were locked, so all the visitors were locked in. Well, that wasn't true.
Okay.
Because when the fire broke out, there were visitors running out the door
Right.
on both sides of the building.
Gotcha. Rumors start like that. I don't know why. Bad news sells newspaper. They don't want to hear how good a person Mike and Cindy and Ricky are. They want to hear how rotten we are. That's what sells newspapers. I don't know why people tell it. But after the fire started, how long was it before they finally started getting to them people that was locked in?
Well, it started at 1:55.
Right.
And I can say for certain that by 3:30, the building was empty.
3:30. So that's quick, but on the other hand, it's a long time. I don't know
Well, when you think about the fact that it only took 3 to 5 minutes for people to die from that kind of poison.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I learned from a firefighter who was there, who was a friend of mine. He's had post-traumatic stress disorder issues ever since. Because he's in there trying his best to get to people, and he's hearing them yell and scream, and then
oh yeah, it's
all of a sudden
terrible.
They're not. There's silence.
So some people probably sat in there with a rag on their face, whatever it took. Some of them, I read the book, went to sleep. They didn't even realize they woke up, they was in the hospital. So they laid in there probably an hour or so in that smoke and all that stuff. Did any of them people have long-term medical effects, or do you know about that?
Well, I know one gentleman that I was actually in there. I went to school with him.
Right.
And he's, I would have to say, had mental issues.
Right. Before or after the fire?
Like I said, there were a lot of cancers.
Yeah.
From people who were there, and it even those who survived, many of them had issues as a result of what they went through.
Well, sure they will, because what was in that smoke. Not only was in mattress burners, other things getting hot. That ceiling tile and all that crap going off. Asbestos and everything in there.
Everything in that jail.
Everything in there. But some people laid there, would you say, Cindy, an hour and a half, covered in a rag, and they went to sleep, and they woke up in the hospital, right? Is that not correct?
Well, I think anyone that was in there that long probably did not wake up.
Really? How long was it the ones that got out?
They had to have gotten them out. Yeah, they had to have gotten them out. The ones who survived, they would have gotten them out probably within 30 minutes or so.
Okay, that's when they would start knocking holes in the walls. But see, it wasn't just one big room. It was different jail cells, correct?
Right.
Right.
There was the visitation area.
Right.
that was outside of what they called the workroom,
Yeah.
which was the primary part of the jail. But
Right.
there were a few other cells. Like there was one cell kind of down a hallway, and there was one prisoner in that semi-maximum security cell, and his family was in that hallway because that particular prisoner had been on the run for 2 years.
Okay.
And he had just been picked up the night before. So his family was there visiting him, and they were standing in an unlocked hallway. That prisoner was actually the father of our current sheriff.
Okay.
Really?
Really?
And our current sheriff at that time was 2 years old.
Well, so
Well,
that is
his
really,
father had been on the run for 2 years.
man, them coincidences,
Man,
that has got, there's stories within stories, Cindy. So the current sheriff's dad was a prisoner in the jail at the jail farm. How can he
And they're
coincidence?
visiting.
Visiting.
They're visiting his father. Was his mother, his grandmother, and 2 uncles.
Man, these
And they all
that circle is getting smaller.
This circle can't be unbroken.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. The coincidence.
And he had always been told that they were intentionally locked in, that his family was locked in. He had also been told that the criminal investigator killed his father and set the fire to cover it all up.
There's going to be all kinds. Now, did his family live, or did they all die and perish in the fire?
No. They perished in the fire. They couldn't find their way out.
Oh, man.
But I found hardcore proof that they were not locked in.
Right.
And his father was not killed. And that, I think, gave him a little bit of peace, a little bit of closure.
But his father did die in the fire, smoke, but he wasn't killed in the lit's what you're trying to say.
Right.
So there's all kind of rumors. I don't know why rumors get started. I don't know. I understand that.
That's a pretty good rumor right there.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, anyone in jail for anything other than a traffic violation was there because of the one criminal investigator.
Right.
So guess what? They didn't like him.
Yeah. Sure. He's going to be
So they had 8 years to come up with all kinds of stories.
Sure they did. Well, Cindy, you've done a real good job explaining this, and I want people. I'm going to hold this up. We give one book away.
That's it.
It's all we got to give away. But I also want you to put back up there, Kevin, where they can buy this book. I'm going to do a little bit of selling here. I don't usually do this, and my viewers know that. But this book right here, you need to buy this book so you can read, because she's just scratched the surface. Cindy, you can talk. You've just scratched the surface on talking with me tonight. This book goes into more details.
It does.
Yeah, buy this book.
Does.
It's a good book, good written book. Will keep you. It's not boring. You will enjoy this book. If there's a way to enjoy anything like this, but you would like reading this book, go to Amazon.com. Tragedy in a Small Town. Buy this book, read this book, and you'll thank me later. But look, that's part of Tennessee's history, and we're not too far from it. There's a lot of things that Tennessee's known for, and tragically, one of them is a jail fire, Ricky.
Well, this book is attention to detail.
It is. It gets right down to it.
This book, when she wrote this book, is attention to detail.
It is. It's got all kind of pictures. It breaks down some of the stuff her and I talked about tonight. It breaks it down further. It talks about, it even got pictures of some of the inmates in this book. I'm just flipping through it as I'm talking. It's a very, very interesting book, and it's Tennessee history. Why would you not want to read it? I mean, it's good stuff. Well, Cindy, I don't want to keep you real long. Anything else you want to add to this before I cut you loose? I know I've had you over an hour, and I want to apologize, but it's just a good story. Anything else you want to add to this that we didn't get to?
Well, I just want to thank you, because this has just been, I feel like it was my responsibility somehow to tell this story. And part of the reason I say that, there was one deputy that I wanted to talk to. And I need you to keep in mind, I had 27 years in the financial services industry where I was in collections and repossessions, and I know how to find people. Well,
Yeah.
I could not find that deputy. To save my life, I could not find him. I searched for months. And then one morning I woke up and just out of the blue, it occurred to me, wait a minute. You went to school with a girl who had that same last name. Maybe she's related. So I went to my computer and I sat down and I got on Facebook and I sent her a message through Facebook. I did not tell her I was writing a book. No one knew, other than my husband, that I was writing a book. I just said I would love to speak to this person who used to be a deputy here. Do you happen to know him or how I could reach him? And Mike, within 60 seconds, she responded and said, oh, that's my older brother. Here's his cell phone number.
Holy crap.
Oh.
It was made for you to write this book.
Yes.
Look at
I
all.
knew then.
It was made.
It was my mission.
It was your mission.
To write this book.
You helped the sheriff. You helped close up some stuff that he didn't know. You helped the sheriff out. And you're helping the community out. And it's such an interesting story. And I've had authors come on before, and I've discussed other things. But people read that book. I'm telling you, put it one more time, Kevin. Get the book, read the book, and you'll see what I'm talking about, why I asked Cindy to come on my show. It's a very interesting story. It's Tennessee history, it's national history, and it's world history. It's called Tragedy in a Small Town, the Maury County Jail Fire, right here in Columbia, Tennessee, not far, hour and a half from us. Mule Day. Y'all have Mule Day down there.
Mule Day.
You know, that's right. Columbia's known for mules, and we used to be Mule Day here. Now we're the fish fry.
Junior Staggs hangs out.
Oh, that's right. Junior Staggs come down there, and my friend Burton Staggs, he's down around Waynesboro, down out at Parker. Yeah. Cindy, I want to tell you how much I appreciate it. We just skimmed the surface. I know we did, but I appreciate you coming on and sharing this story with us. It's very interesting, and I think people will get that book and read it, and they'll understand why I thought it was such a good thing to do a show about. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate your interest in it.
It's
another thing I will share with you that I haven't shared very many. When word kind of got out that I was writing this book, a friend of mine who was formerly kind of the Maury County historian, who has since passed, came up and cautioned me not to write it. Because he said, you'll have death threats. And I said, but I have to write this.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the approach that I took.
Yeah.
Because I tried to honor the people who had passed.
Sure.
Because like I said, there was no one other than one prisoner who could have possibly gotten the death penalty.
Yeah.
Those people were brothers and fathers and uncles and sisters
and children.
And mothers.
Children.
Yeah.
I don't get that neither. I wouldn't worry. You know, people ask me on some of the shows I do, Cindy, I can appreciate what you're saying. Do you not worry about? I said, no, because I'm just sharing a story. I mean, these poor people, not this show particularly, but this show I'm talking about now, these poor people didn't deserve the death penalty. Hell, I could have been. In 77, I was a rounder. Hell, I was younger. I'm a big old boy. Hell, when I was 6'2", 260 pounds, solid as a rock in 1977. Hell, if I had been in Columbia, I might have been the damn jail that day. You know what I'm saying?
Racing your car.
That's right. It's possible that I could have been down there, for something simple. And nobody in that jail fire deserved the death penalty. It was an accident caused by a crazed kid. Maybe he's gonna get pissed if he hears this, but maybe he's got forgive for it. But that was unavoidable. But in the other hand, 42 people lost their life, and now the FARs and jails and stuff has changed. The FAR codes have changed, and you keep this book out there. It's a very interesting read, and anybody who lives in Tennessee or anybody who lives in the South, Columbia, Tennessee is just like any other southern town in 1977. They're all the same back in the day. You know what I'm saying, Cindy? We're all the same. Yeah. Read the book, find out about this, and you'll enjoy it. Cindy, I appreciate you. I'm going to let you go. And I appreciate
Mike,
it.
can I say one more
You
thing?
sure can.
Well, I want to let you know that in 1999, there was a new jail built in Maury County.
Great.
And everything was done. Everything was ready for the jail to be open. And the fire marshal went out there. And the first thing he did was pick up a mattress and look at the tag.
That's great.
He dropped it. He dropped that mattress and he said, "Get them all out. You bring in fire retardant mattresses or this place will never open."
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, we get kind of pissed off when stuff like that happens, but there's no way to go back once it does happen with a fire like this. He did the right thing. We got pissed when they do that. We try to go around all that, but he was right on that one. Well, Cindy, I appreciate it. Anything else you want to say before I cut you off?
No, I'm good. I just appreciate very much the opportunity to be here and share this story.
I appreciate you doing it, and I want to thank Ricky for he's the one who hooked me and you up. Ricky's a man of many talents. You know that?
I'm just Ricky.
Just Ricky, but
and you know, you never meet a stranger. And I met Miss Cindy. You know, we just got to talking. She told the story, and immediately I said,
"I know where you're going.
I know where you're going to be on. You're going on the Mike Weatherford show with this story." And I brought her this story. Yeah, and it's a very story.
It is a good story. I hope people buys the book. I mean, I get on Amazon and buy this book. Hell, I don't know, they ain't much. Shit, you'll spend more eating out one night. It ain't about the money. Cindy didn't do it for the money. I know the lady didn't do it for the. She's not into trying to make a lot of money off this darn book. It's something she wanted to do. Her hometown. It needed to be done. She told you that it healed a lot of wounds, and it opened up some eyes, and it righted some wrongs, and it shut down a lot of these conspiracy theories. Buy the book, read the book, and when you see me, you'll say, "Mike, you're right. That was a good book." That's Tragedy in a Small Town, the Maury County Jail Fire by C.R. We call her Cindy Tinsley. Cindy, I appreciate it, girl. Thanks a lot. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay in touch.
All right, you
pass the word.
Pass the word about me. Tell everybody down in Columbia about the Mike Weatherford Show. Tell them how we do it over here. Y'all are Mule Day. We're fish fry up here. Tell them we fish fryers up here. Thank you a lot, Cindy. Talk to you soon. Ricky?
Okay.
Yes, sir, Mike.
There we go.
Great show.
It was a great show. It was good. I mean,
I use the word attention to detail.
It was really good. I mean, she told the story good, but I still stuck on this part. I have a little claustrophobia. I'm an auto mechanic, and I get my arm stuck. I can just damn near throw a Cadillac off a rack. When I get my arm hung up under a car or something, the guys that work for me know that. They say, "Mike, chill out." I don't know. I'm claustrophobic. Put me in a jail cell, and the place is burning down, and I know that if I could just get out that, I'd be okay. I don't know if my mind, I'd lose it. I don't know if I'm a big old boy. I might even break that damn jail cell.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be trying. Them poor souls that lost their life. Folks, I know they're prisoners, but none of them didn't do anything you hadn't done and didn't get caught for. Drunk driving without your glasses on. Hell, Ricky.
Come on, man.
It'd be like nowadays driving with a cell phone.
That's
or something.
right.
You know, we're all about safety. You know what I say about all that safety? Quit trying to save my life. Hell, I'll take care of my damn self. I have all these years. Ricky, that was a good show. Appreciate you, bro.
No, thank you, Mike.
Don't forget, next Tuesday, right here live on the Mike Weatherford Show. I know you all got your new tax thing from the tax assessor's office. You got that banner to put up coming up next week? I guess there it is. Did you get sticker shock? I did. Trust me, I did. I got Scott Morrison. He's a Henry County property assessor. Going to come in and break down what it means, what happened, what you can do, what your options are. Then I got David Bubba Flyers. We all know Bubba. He used to be the president of Commercial Bank. He's a county commissioner now. He's going to come on there and tell us what it means to the county commissioners when they get this deal that says, hey, we're going to get a raise. Will they adjust the tax rate to compensate for the raise in values? Bubba's going to straighten all that out. Him and Scott Morrison's live on the Mike Weatherford Show next week, May 27th, 7 p.m., sticker shot. Don't miss that show. You'll like it. Don't forget, the Tennessee Informer, John Rose, Tennessee State Representative. He's running the first GOP to throw his hat in the ring to be the next governor. That's coming at Wednesday, tomorrow night, May 21st, 7 p.m., Facebook Live, and YouTube. Don't forget it's Tennessee Informed with Dave Vance. You'll like it, trust me. And don't forget our new show, Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklew, one-on-one with Caden Marshall. He is a former Henry County Patriot football player, now a linebacker for Bowling Green State University. One-on-one conversation with Jeremy and Caden Marshall. It's coming up Sunday, May the 25th, 7:30 p.m. He's running on the Mike Weatherford Show platform right now, but he's just fixing to drop over on his own one called Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklew. If you haven't found Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklew, do me a favor. Go over there on Facebook, find it, follow him, because when he leaves the Mike Weatherford Show platform, he goes over his own platform. He's going to still be in the same studio with me, but he's going to have his own platform. You'll miss some of his good shows. So find him, follow him so you can keep up with him. That's Sportscast Live with Jeremy Bucklew every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Don't forget, coming up Thursday, June the 5th, downtown Purdy. Ricky, people's always saying there ain't nothing to do around here. The hell it ain't.
Man, they never. That night we went to the parlor.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, folks, this right here is going to be downtown Purdy under the pavilion. Junior Stags and Friends Live with John Langford and Jason Wright. They're going to be singing, playing. It's going to be a hell of a good time. And you know what? It's free. Just bring your cheer and go to downtown Purdy next Thursday, June the 5th, 7 p.m. and listen. It's fun. It don't cost you a dime, and you'll wish you'd have been there. And you'll see my producer. He'll be recording all that for him. His name is Kevin Chester Kill. He'll be there live. Check him out and tell him you hear all about him on the Mike Weatherford Show. He's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. Well, I guess he is a good guy. I don't know.
Well, if you don't do anything, you get to meet Junior Stags.
You'll get to meet Junior Stags. That's right.
That's a blessing.
It is. The fast talker himself.
You'll meet the Junior Stags.
That's right. Hey, don't forget, we simulcast on Facebook and YouTube, Spotify. We're on all the platforms. But I need you to do something for me. A couple things I want to talk to my viewers about and tell your friend. If you haven't done it yet, reach over there on the Facebook side and click that follow button. The more followers I get, the more of the guests, the upper class of guests I can get. They say, how many followers do you have? And I say 7,000 or 10,000. They say, get my followers up. Tell your friends, hey, follow the Mike Weatherford Show. He's got some cool stuff going on. Plus, me and Ricky give you stuff every week.
Oh.
You know, we kind of going to throw that up to you, you know.
You don't know what's next.
We don't ever know what's next coming up next week.
We never thought about Venture River today.
That's right. That's right. So find me on Facebook. Find me on YouTube. Subscribe. Like me. And also, if you want to be a part of the Burr Street Mafia on our program, you want to be a sponsor, you want to have an advertisement on my show, contact us. The door is always open for sponsors. I want you to partner up with us, you know, as we run this thing up. So if you want to be a partner on the Mike Weatherford Show, the Sportscast with Jeremy Bucklew, any of the stables at Kill Media and Burr Street Mafia, private messages right here on the Mike Weatherford Show. We'll set you up, get you on here. You can be one of our sponsors, one of our pop-up ads, or one of our commercials. You can be a part of the Kill Media Burr Street Mafia. All you got to do is private message us or see me on the street somewhere. Say, hey, Mike, I want to be a part of your show. Hey, we take it all. And I want to congratulate my two winners tonight. The 2 passes to Venture River, courtesy of Ricky Price from Pepsi Mid-America. The winner was Jordan Holland. He got him a pair of tickets. He was the right caller. Hey, that's pretty cool. Then winner of the book, courtesy of Ricky Price from Pepsi Mid-America.
That's Cindy.
And Cindy, Bobby Dunn. That's a cool book. I'm going to tell you one more time. If I told you, find the book and buy it. You won't regret it. It's a cool book. I bet you can get it. I bet they got an audio version too. You know, it's a good book. But find it, buy the book, and if you see my sponsors out, tell them you thank them, appreciate them for sponsoring the Mike Weatherford Show. Without them guys, I couldn't do what I do, which is, I don't know, be your number one place for all the things we all want to know about. That's what it's about. I want to thank my crew in the back, Kevin Keel, Scott Norwood, Billy Busey, and Dana Allen. You know, they have the hard job. Anybody that's ever been to my studio, I'll always invite you in the back to go in the control room and see what they guys do back there, and you'll tell me, yeah, that's a pretty cool place back there. It looks like we can launch nuclear missiles from back there, doesn't it? There's about
more than missiles.
Oh yeah, there's about 10 or 12 computers back there, monitors everywhere. And you know what's really cool about all that? I can't turn the damn thing on.
Oh, man.
I don't even know what button to push. All I can do is sit
mic
here.
Up here.
That's all I can do is just, I don't even know how to turn this damn mic on.
Well,
there ain't no buttons on this. All I do is just, I don't know nothing.
Tap.
I don't know nothing. All I do is sit here and talk and look pretty. I done got them throwing up in the back when I said that. But, look, guys, this is to my guys out there listening. Y'all know what it's like being a trophy husband and a trophy boyfriend. It's a rough life. It ain't all that cracked up to be being trophies. Like, Ricky, you're a trophy husband.
Well, I try to be something.
All right, folks, tune in next week, same time, same place. And like me and Ricky always say, don't be late.
The Mike Weatherford Show is recorded live in the Brewer Street Mafia Studios in downtown Paris. A Kill Media, Brewer Street Mafia production.